Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church. I am so glad we decided to do this on Zoom today. As much as most people don't, there are a lot of people who don't like to do it on Zoom, but at least now we don't have to worry about the weather. And I don't think two of us who are semi-damaged from shoveling already would have been able to clear the sidewalks before we got there today. So greetings, welcome to Lake Superior Interfaith Church. I would like to give a quick invocation. All right, dear Mother, Father, God, thank you for bringing us all together. As we come together, we open our hearts in gratitude for the space, for the opportunity for friendship and our connection in spirit. And with this, we say thank you. Thank you. All right. So now the statement of intent. We are fortunate to have a variety of speakers for Sunday services. By using guest speakers, we gain wisdom from all those who share. This is a church where we can worship the God of our own understanding, a place to experience joy and be uplifted, a place where we can gain strength and inspiration to share with all we meet throughout the week. We invite you to join us in this celebration of life, to nourish your spirit and to enjoy the company of kindred souls. And now Steve is going to play the musical portion of Let There Be Peace, and Barbara's going to sing for us.
Yay. Let there peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth and peace with God as creator. Family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, the stream of joy is mine. Summer and let me. Oh dear.
Thank you, Barbara. That's so awesome. All right, so a couple of just quick introductions. Well, my name is Sue. I'm the secretary on the board of trustees. And Barb, I will be giving a little short talk about beliefs, what I believe, what I've believed in the past, what I don't believe anymore. And then we will have a little discussion about the new set of principles that we're pounding out, that we're going to try to refine and redesign so that it's a little less cumbersome. And then also today we have Barbara with, who will be doing some lovely channeling for us. And then we will have some time to do some speaking and talking after we have Barbara's channeling and the reading of the new principles, so that we can also do some sharing. So at this point, speaking of introductions and announcements, Carolyn, what kind of announcements do you have for us today?
A great big thank you for all the snow removal that's going to happen by somebody, and I think it's going to be somebody's even on this Zoom. And I mean, this is the biggest storm of the year that I remember. Now, I don't remember November or December very well. But this is a huge thing, and I want to say thank you in advance. Take care. Don't try to do it too fast. And we all appreciate it so much, because this is really the first year that we haven't been paying for more help on this. And so it's because of you volunteers. So thank you, Sue, thank you, Steve, and thank you, Michael, wherever you are too. So, amen, blessed be.
Any other announcements?
No?
Okey doke.
Well, Sue, I would say that I'm going to give a little more depth to what you said. The community shares are part of our Sing and Share, and we're on the topic, how I awaken to metaphysics, something like that. Your own personal awakening. And we're staying with that topic. We decided it together at the lunch talk time. And so we're staying with that topic. So everybody who wants to speak to that and share has the opportunity. Then we'll talk about which topic we'll go to next. So your short stories will be so welcome during that time on how I awakened to metaphysics. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Carolyn.
Mhm.
The other thing is, if you've got your phones on, please put them on mute or silent so that we don't get dings and things while we are recording our session here. Also, just remember that there are all kinds of things going on around the world. We are not the only people who need prayers right now, but we do need prayers right now. So speaking of prayers, what does anybody have any prayer requests? You can either unmute yourself and or raise your hand or let Steve know through chat.
This is Laura Whitney. I'm going to request ongoing prayers for my friends Don and Zane as they face some very difficult things.
I'm going to request again, as somebody always does, prayers for the world, prayers for the suffering, gratitude for all that we have so that we may hold strong in our love and really bring compassion to those who are suffering.
And one more from Denise in chat for Jackson White, suffering from depression and anxiety.
Well, and we all need to pray for, as Carolyn said, for the world and for us, especially right now, so that none of us has any severe injuries from shoveling this week. So with that in mind, what I'd like to do is to have you all imagine in your head the healing bowl. And with all the names in the healing bowl and our current prayers and requests, whether they be mentally or physically on Zoom here requested. So at this moment, I'd like to say the prayer for healing. Creator, we ask your healing blessing for all the offered names today. As their highest self wishes, may they receive the best healing for themselves and be raised up in God's love and light. Thank you. And for a moment, let's just take a moment of silence to pray for all the prayer intentions. Okay, at this point, I'd like to do the little call and response of our newest intentions to make sure that we do things the right way. And you can either say them out loud or you can keep yourself muted if you want, but joyful teamwork is our way.
Joyful teamwork is our way.
Listening kindly is our path.
Listening kindly is our path.
We are in renewal together. Awesome. That's great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, did we have a song right now then, Steve?
Not yet. We're going to do
Oh,
it after your talk.
okay. Well, then I'm going to talk. Welcome, everybody. I'm Sue. I've been around for a while. Uh, you want to talk about beliefs. We want to talk about where we came from, what we've done, where we're going. When I was a kid, I believed all kinds of things. I want to show you if I can. I hope that this will come out on Zoom. This is a picture of me when I was a little kid. Here I am sitting in a box or two with a bunch of books behind me and a big fat black cat on my lap. That's me. That was me a bunch of years ago, and it's still me. I'm surprised you haven't seen a cat go by yet. I believed in sitting in that box. I believed in the comfort and the coziness of that box. And I sat there in that box. My mom would plunk me in a box and put me in front of a television set, and I was fine for hours. I didn't I was not a fussy kid at that when I was in my box with my cat and my books and the TV. Which funny thing is, lately I feel like it's the same thing. My books, my cats, and my TV, and I'm good to go. And I believed that people told the truth all the time, and I believed that what mom and dad told me were correct, and what I believed in all kinds of things that I have had to examine over the past umpteen years. And so I know that my beliefs and my world has changed because of what I believe or don't believe anymore. I believe that the priests were always right, and I believe that our teachers never were wrong, and I believe that learning was an experience that we needed to go through, and I still believe that last one. We do need to learn. We need to grow. We need to expand. We can't just ever stop learning. And I learned a lot of really hard lessons along the way. And in 2005, when I was at one of the lowest points in my life, I know you probably all heard this story before. I walked into Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church on a whim because I drove past the building and I saw the sign and it said non-denominational. Because I was very disillusioned with the religion of my youth. And I thought, it's time for a change. And I was just going to sit in the back, just kind of see what's going on. And that didn't happen. I got greeted by 3 or 4 people that I already knew. And most of you have already heard that story. But when I started to go there, I just started to realize that I didn't have to believe what I believed before. I could open the door. I could open a window. I could see more. I could take the shades off and I could look out the windows and I could see more things that were different and enticing. The words don't even, come to my mind. All of the words that, interesting and fascinating. And some of them really resonated with me. And I can remember sitting there at church with the little white card, and I still have the little white card, and I have all the principles on it. And I thought, those are some really cool principles. And in 2005, I started going pretty much all the time. And over the course of the years that I've been there, I know that we've talked about what we believe in and what are these things that and what do they mean to us. And I know that there have been different times that the board of trustees has gone through these beliefs and these principles, and we've wondered what does it mean to us to say this. And over the years I know we've looked at it, possibly tried to change it. Changes have not been made, and that's okay, but we know a little deeper about the meanings behind these beliefs. And when we started to talk about it earlier this year or last year even, and even before, that maybe it was time to take a second look at our principles, I thought, let's do that. Let's do that. I mean, let's make it short and sweet and to the point. And I'm all excited about that. So we've been very diligently going through our own metamorphoses, each one of us on the board, plus with everyone at the church. We've had so many changes over the past 3 years, having to adapt to a Zoom format, having to adapt to a multimedia format, recording all of our sessions, getting ourselves out there, trying to figure out who we are, how we move forward, how we grow. And with this new idea of shortening and creating more cohesive principles, it's just part of that new branching out, beginning, whatever you want to call it, or just recreating of ourselves. And it's been a very thought-provoking process as well. I know that a lot of people will have a lot of opinions about a lot of the things that we're doing. And this is by no means, just like with the changes in the physical space by moving the pews around and changing the position of the quilt, so that that Jesus shines through our quilt to bring us his energy as well as the angel energy that's in that quilt. We are making changes to see how we feel. When you make changes, you have to try new things and see if they fit. If they fit, they fit. If they don't, we make another change. So this has been a big process for us to try to regain ourselves, moving forward into a situation where we attract the right people to join us, not just the right ministerial leadership to our spiritual community or metaphysical spiritual community. We attract people who want to be there and want to help us grow and change. So that in my heart is exactly what we're trying to do with the changing of the principles. So the things that I believe today are different than what I believed when I was a kid sitting in my box with my cat and my TV and my books. Some of them are still the same, but there are some basic things that have not changed in our lives, and that's us. We are still strong. We are still there. We are on the verge of moving forward and continuing our little box as a big church. We want to be a good, solid foundation for the city of Duluth and for the whole entire county, state, country, universe. As Carolyn has mentioned over and over, when Phyllis McCoy came and called us the cornerstone of our church, cornerstone of just a cornerstone, not even just the church, but the cornerstone, the church itself. We are a cornerstone of a much bigger area than what we can expect to understand. So I know that we are important enough on this planet that we need to be part of what's moving forward with all of the things that people have brought us over the years, with the new earth things that Carolyn and Steve are showing us, with the channelings from Barbara, that she brings us information from the past to move us into the forward, and people that we've known from the past into the future. It's time to move forward. And with that, I would like to have Steve, if you will, put the new, we're going to share a screenshot of the new principles that we've worked on. And again, with everything else, it's a work in progress. Like the changes in the physical space of the church, it is not permanent. This is not the end. It's a beginning, and a beginning hopefully so that we move forward and get the principles or beliefs, however we want to say it, as a beacon for others to follow. So I'm going to read the principles right now. And
should be able to see them on the screen, Sue, is that right?
Yep, and they're right there. So if you would like to read them with me, you're perfectly welcome to do so. God, the source and creator of all. I said it. God is eternal, the eternal source and creator of all, and is present in everything. Our eternal soul endowed with free will, grows through many lifetimes. Communication occurs between the physical and spiritual worlds. Prayer and meditation strengthen our connection to God. Because we are all one, what we do unto others, we do unto ourselves. The choice of love is always open for every soul. Knowing these principles can guide us. To grow in divine love, we must live them. Let those principles sink in a little bit. We sent these out in an email, Steve did. And at this point, if we've had a few responses, and they are good responses to let us know what people are feeling. If you have specific ideas in mind, please let us know. You can reply back and Steve will let us know what's going on with that. So if you have any questions regarding any of these, maybe we can talk a little bit about that later too, or just send us an email and let us know, and we will be regarding each of those. We will be taking care to read through and find out where we need to move forward.
Sue, can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Carolyn. I thought we were going to do a talking circle on this. No.
Well, we're going to do a talking circle near the end.
Okay, on the principles, so people can respond to the principles.
I want people to let it sink in for a while.
Beautiful. Okay, thank you.
Yep. So with that, let's move on to our next item, which is a song that, and is this your song, Barbara? Oh, okay.
This is Jimmy
Whichever-
Cliff.
Okay, this is a song that's going to bring us into, then Barbara will do our channeling for us.
All right. Let's take some deep breaths together, and if everyone would mind to mute, and we can have some. We will command that only the most divine light shine down upon you at this time, and the greatest good be present here. It is always such a deep honor to come to you in this way. And as you come and go from your beautiful, sturdy homes to this central place, this church that has served us for so long, you must always remember that there is no body. You don't really have a physical body or a physical world in the end. You have an entire energetic structure that transcends all of the physical world. So it's not that you're not within the physical world, but you wake up to so much more of who you are. And we don't have a lot to say to you today, but we do want to talk about two things. One is, when you're talking about your principles, we want to stress that what is the very most important part of the process of bringing everyone in to have a voice in this new direction is that it's the process. It's not the end product. The end product will reflect the love that you have applied in the process. And as you look around your world today and you see so much conflict and so many people at odds with each other, you yourselves are those people. In the world, there are people that you don't speak with, that you are at odds with. It's the nature of humanity right now. But within your circle, within your community, these kinds of projects and processes are what bring you together. To be able to share your thoughts, to have diverging views, to have different levels of passion and emotion about one thing or another. And so while we feel strongly that you have succeeded tremendously in your intention, in your mission to bring forth these principles, what was really most important was working together, in love, working together for the good of all, and having that being the overarching force in your own personal life that you bring then here to this church to share with others. But we're going to step it just back one to individuals. And if there was something that we could suggest you take with you from the process and from the reading of those principles as they resonate within you, is that you have that power every minute of every day to make the choice that you're going to be working for the good of everyone and the good of the whole. And when you're talking practically about working in a group of people, it's always important to remember that if you do not hold judgment, if you're truly working for the good of all, then you can show up and say anything. Because when it comes time to pivot, you won't be holding on to something because there's a need inside you that's not fulfilled. You won't be wanting to steer the conversation over here because your ego might think that your idea is the best. And that is, in fact, the true shine of a community that is rooted in compassion, is how easily each individual will pivot for the good of all. And if there is something that is important for you to be heard, make sure that you're heard. That is your job, is to just make sure you're heard. You're putting your energy and yourself into that energy, and then let go. Step back and know that because you are all working for the good of the whole, that's all you need to know. As your voice is heard. And if there is something intuitively driving you, then perhaps the idea is that you then make the case. You use your passion to present what you feel so passionately about that's driving you from being able to pivot away from that thing or that word or that direction. But your discernment of those things are all that you have. You can't make someone else discern them for themselves. You can't decide what other people are going to say or think about anything, but particularly these principles. But you can listen, take in, and those who are speaking can know they're heard. And ultimately, all will let go and pivot for the good of the whole. And what you have done so far is truly breathtakingly beautiful. It's not means that everyone's going to agree with it. It doesn't mean that everyone's going to see eye to eye with it, but you are listening to the people in your group, listening with open hearts, and being those people who have been elected to represent the hearts of the whole group, have an awesome responsibility to make sure that that listening is done. And the whole group has an awesome responsibility to put your faith in those who were given that process. And the more that you reciprocate to each other, the more you listen to each other, the more trust is built. And in the end, there is one thing that we would say is impossible. And we're not a group of people or souls to want to say anything is impossible. But it's impossible to please everyone. It is. And it's impossible for you sometimes to be pleased as well. So let go. Let go. Take a breath and trust in what is good for the whole. And we applaud you. We surround you constantly. And our masses also are growing and coming together as you're building your energy and your vision. Sometimes we know it feels ridiculously slow sometimes to you to try to get things done on the planet. And yet, when you look at it from the eternal, non-time, non-linear point of view, there isn't any time. There's just right now to do the job well, to be open, to have that passion, but also just to be able to let go. Let go and let God. And that then will be the way you find the peace that you want to embody through the expression of these principles. Namaste. Is there someone who wants to share?
I'm quite receiving, impressed in the deep way, being impressed into me. The principle we've all heard, we all know to live by on some level. I forget that they're telling us, it seems like almost the last third or half was say our own truth and honor the whole, trust that the process is unfolding. And it's such a pivotal, and then they use the word pivot, such a reminder to all of us who have been part of these conversations for so many years, because it's been our path to really work to be in alignment with divine love and truth in the long process of that. So I'm really impressed with came through, really touched, really moved by the simplicity and the core piece of it, and the ultimate complete denial of having to be in our ego. Well, not complete, because we're still to say our piece, say our own truth, but yet such a crystal clear point they made. That's what I got. And thank you, Barbara.
I would add that the focus is not the ego, but the greater good, and that ability to pivot from that, because our truest process is always one of love. So thank you for that message.
Is there anybody else who'd like to share? Or is there anyone else who has, would like to talk about share a moment of your physical, metaphysical, spiritual, what brought you to where you are now?
Can I just suggest, maybe for right now, can we, if anybody has something to, that they would like to say, particularly about the principles, this might be a nice time to do that. And then we could move to the,
Okay, that's
to
perfect.
our personal sharing, if people agree with that. So does anybody have anything that they might like to share, please? And you can indicate that, of course, because we have this fabulous feature of meeting chat. So we can type our responses too. Okay, now I'm signing on.
I would just like to say that the process of creating these 7 principles was magic. It was the chaos of creativity with all 7 people in and out, and how to take the words and the minutia and the broadest ideas into something. And all I wanted was something that was sang like a song. That was all I asked. And I think that was a beautiful, beautiful result, because they do sing like a song. They sing easy. They have a pattern to them. And on top of that, yes, the words are good too. But I just thank you all so much. They're very beautiful.
This is Carolyn. And I would say that we know we're going to be thinking and talking about these principles for at least a few weeks. We've sent letters out to several people who don't receive emails. And we want to reach out to past presidents that have not aren't on our list anymore, because all the past presidents have given so much and thought so deeply and not just thought, but felt so deeply with their own connection with spirit, how to be part of supporting and guiding and shaping our communities together. So we're not going to be printing them up on a card, laminated card, in our pews real soon. We really do want to hear from people, and so the process will continue for a while. And it is kind of neat that we're all on Zoom together today, instead of Zoom being resigned only to chat and then people in the room in sanctuary. So that would be my extra piece on the timing that we do have. But I'm so interested if anybody here wants to say anything in agreement or some considerations that they'd like to have us keep thinking about and changing.
Looked like Carol Condrath wanted to say something.
Okay. Am I unmuted? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, hi, everyone.
Hi.
Well, a big thank you. I think they're written beautifully. And as things go, you know, I'm here up in my room, and I did a little playful with the ink and pens and stuff. And so at some point I want to show you because it resonates with Barbara With's saying she just wanted the musical, and it ended up that my little sketches is kind of musical. I wanted to show you. And I think like music, these words, these thoughts, we all interpret them so differently and so beautifully and so uniquely. But I am grateful for the work that those of you who have sat down together and really thought through these things. It really must have been a very enriching experience. And although I feel sometimes my Catholic guilt, that I just don't have that kind of creativity in me from that direction of like getting together and working it out in presence with you. I do so appreciate that you're doing it, and I think you're all doing it just magical, godful, however you want to say it, experience. So thank you all, and this is very creative. This day you're trying to pull off. My goodness, seems very difficult to me, but you're doing it. So anyway, with that, so at some point, maybe I can do
You can do it now, Carol.
Can you see this? What it ended up being?
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Oh, it's
There.
beautiful.
So it's this little, we're playing the music, and we're all listening to each other in whatever way we can. And again, in great gratitude and lots of color and lots of fun with it. Love you all.
Thank you, Carol.
Hi, this is Denise.
Hi, Denise.
I just wanted to say that I'm so glad Carol spoke. Thank you, Carol. Because I really would like to hear from the community. As Carolyn stated, it's really important to us to get any thoughts on specific wording or a principle, one of the 7 that you don't resonate with or could be worded differently, or just any suggestions, because we are hashing through this, yet as Carolyn said, it's not anything carved in stone, but we have done a deliberate, intentional process so far. Your input is really important, and so I would like to hear if anybody has anything to say regarding that before we continue hammering with these amazingly long email strings. Thank you.
Ah,
And if people are not comfortable just, unmuting, you can type a little meeting chat message too.
Well, and an email or something, just anything, because like the channel said, it's really important to speak up, to put your voice in. And like Denise said, that we did this, now you guys have to come and speak.
Although it's pretty classic that no news is good news. And so that's the truth in a democracy. And as much as possible, we want to be really a listening, breathing body together, ensconced in these individual forms. So if you don't have any comments you want to share, it's because you like it. We're going to think naturally, and that's fine too. We as has been pointed out to me over the course of my life more than once, verbalization is not the only form of communication. Silence and body language and so forth, but certainly silence also gives us a message now of support, I would have to say. I'm going to take the privilege of friendship to just, because our beloved Phyllis is here, And you have been with us so long, longer than I know, Phyllis. And though it might not be fair to call to your attention, I wonder if you could say anything to reflect your spiritual listening on this, or your personal as well. And maybe you're away from your screen right now. That could be too. Well, then I would say these wonderful community shares that we've been having once a month, short stories from each of us. Maybe it's time for that now. And we have chosen a topic together, how I awakened to this metaphysics. And we've had some very heartfelt and reasonably short shares from people. And all of the communication brings us closer together. And also sometimes it's good to hear our own voice saying deep, powerful things about our own lives too. So what do you all think? Is it a good time to sort of move the dial to the next part of the sharing? Okay. So does anybody want to speak to that topic now? It's different than coming up to the podium in the church.
I, Laura, will talk a little. One of the things that drew me to this church was the lack of guilt. That wasn't the first thing that you got to say, forgive me because I've sinned. Which, well, let's just say there's always room for improvement. And our purpose is for alignment with God, so we always strive, but to say it in a positive way was very, very touching to me. And I will tell a longer story at a longer time, but there was immense relief in knowing that life continues on, or things continue on, and the power of joy and being able to express yourself as you truly are, which was I want to say something about being flawed, but was worthy and adequate. So with that, I'm going to just read a little teeny thing from this book that I read every day and I practice my penmanship with, and I will edit it slightly, but the point is this: it's about seeking beauty and the reason why. So it's this, and this was the reading for yesterday. Draw beauty from every flower and joy from the song of the birds and the color of the flowers. Drink in the beauty of air and color. I am with you. When I wanted to express a beautiful thought, I made a lovely flower. Reflect. When I want to express to man what I am, I strive to make a very beautiful character. Think of yourselves as my expression of attributes, as a lovely flower is my expression of thought, and you as a lovely flower is my expression of thought, and you will strive in all, in spiritual beauty, in thought, power, in health, in clothing, to be as fit an expression for me as you can. Absorb beauty. As soon as the beauty of a flower or a tree is impressed upon your soul, it leaves an image there which reflects through your actions. Look for beauty and joy in the world around. Look at a flower until its beauty becomes part of your very soul. It will be given back to the world again by you in the form of a smile or a loving word or a kind thought or a prayer. Listen to a bird. Take the song as a message from from my father. Let it sink into your soul. That too will be given back to the world in ways which I've said. Laugh more, laugh often, love more. I'm with you. I'm the Lord. So it's more joy. The focus is more joy. And I will just say it's been my propensity to really notice good stuff and say it like, isn't that pretty? Isn't that awesome? And I like this and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, because it feels good for me to acknowledge it. But hopefully it also draws in other people to kind of look at what all is so our beautiful, beautiful and powerful natural world, which, you know, is divine expression and is, well, we're not divorced from it. So anyway, there's just my thought for today.
Thank you.
Well, it looks like we're getting close to the end of our time here. Do we want to do another song?
I would love to share this song with you before I go. This is a song my friend Lonnie Knight wrote, and I recorded his song. It was actually a few weeks before he died. He died of cancer, and we were going to go out on tour together, and he ended up getting sick. But I did this song, and it's kind of pertinent for today and in what we're all dreaming of. So
All right, I'll share that now.
Somebody's crying mercy, somebody's begging for peace. From the sweet warm wind blowing out of the south comes a promise of release. Fragrance of tropical flowers floats through this frozen pine tree air. Skinny girls with brown skin, wild orchid in their hair. Somebody's crying mercy, crying let me go to the coffee bean ports of Brazil and the white hot sands of Mexico. Somebody's crying mercy, it's cold. Somebody's closing their eyes, dreaming of the salt sea spray, spying full sails on the horizon. Dutch sea captains and Portuguese sailors, perfumed in tobacco and beer. You know they'd be rich with the spoils of 1,000 ports full of wine and good cheer. Take a drink, the rum is cool, it's like a fire behind your eyes. And the snow disappears on this creaking old pier beneath the lonely seagull cry. Somebody's crying mercy in a desperate note with a trembling hand. Palm trees in the margins, they're waving goodbye, 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 goodbye. Tapping on the tabletop, swaying to the unseen sounds of a sultry rhythm band. I'm all for the sun and the sky and the heart of the mama land. I'm all for the sun and the sky and the heart of the mama land. Mama land. boats are tied. Somebody dines on mangoes and coconuts down by the ocean side. Put on a white linen suit, put a black pearl in the ear. When there's a knock on the door of this small winter house, somebody never hears. Somebody's crying, mercy, crying, let me go, let me go. Somebody's gone in a twinkling eye to a land that's all his own. All his own. Somebody's crying, mercy, crying, let me go. And somebody is gone.
Love that. Okay, so now we get that fun time of the day where we are going to ask you if you would like to donate. We do have a way to do that through PayPal. And if you want to donate through PayPal, all you have to do is open your chat window and we will give you a link to the PayPal account.
Yeah, so if you open chat first, I found that if I add the link before you open chat, you won't see it. So those of you that are interested, please click on the chat button to pop up that chat window, and then I will add the link. And once you click on the link, you'll pop into another window on your browser, which you will have time to go through all the steps to donate to PayPal. That's how we're doing it. So if you're there now, I'll click on this, and you should be able to see a link for donation. So you can do that at your leisure, but it'll only be up until we end the session today.
So while you are all looking at the PayPal and donating your donations, we thank you for that. Let us, I will say our church affirmation. We totally accept the belief that God is in charge of the affairs and direction of Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church. We know that as our thoughts of trust and joyful anticipation join in harmony with the thoughts of all the members of this fellowship, we attract the right ministerial leadership to our spiritual community, and we are grateful. All right, so Barbara, you have our benediction for us.
Mother, Father, God, thank you so much for bringing us together today. And as we go off into the world, we take with us those small baby steps of working for the good of the whole, starting with ourselves. And we are grateful. Amen.
And so with that, we also will have Barbara singing our final closing song. And if you'd like to sing along, you may, which is God Be With You. We're putting Steve to the test here today.
Wait. God be with you till we meet again. By his counsel's guide uphold you. On his love securely hold you. God till we meet again. God be with you till we meet again. His wings protect daily. God again.
thanks everybody for being with us today. Now it's time for coffee.
All right. Love to you all. Wish I was there.
How do we do the board meeting?
We're
Sorry.
going to do that in a separate
Yep.
thing.
Yep, I
Okay.
sent out a link. Laura, did you get an email from you this morning?
Probably. I haven't checked. By the way, awesome job, everybody, and thanks for all who showed up. Thank you.
And
Yes.
thank you. We were 15 people as I counted in terms of the little squares, and plus Steve makes 16 of us. A wonderful gathering on this snow day.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you in the board meeting whenever that will be.
I'm estimating at 12:15. Gives a
Okay.
chance to eat, so.
All right. I'll see you guys then.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, all of us together. Blessed be.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you, Steve.
Good job, Steve.